Welcome back. 19 out of 33 lawsuits have been settled. In one of those cases is Tia Coleman.
Now, her settlement agreement terms were not disclosed, but she did initially sue Ripley for $100 million last year.
And Joe, Tia was actually supposed to be on another boat that night. Our Frances Lynn retells her story and a woman who met her at the hospital.
And then it got really choppy and big swells of water started coming into the boat. The last thing I heard my sister-in-law yell was, "Grab the baby." And I said, "Jesus, please keep me. Just keep me so I can get to my children. Keep me, Lord." And I could swim, and I was swimming as fast as I could. And I could not reach the life jackets. And I just remember I kept sinking. And finally I said, "Lord, just let me die. Let me die." I said, I can't keep drowning. I just can't keep drowning, because that's how I felt. And then I just let go, and I started floating. I was floating up to the top.
Tia was then taken to Cox Health Hospital.
There was moms and dads looking for their children. There were children looking for their moms and dads.
Brandy Clifton, communications manager at Cox Health, recalls the 2 days after the accident when Tia wanted to meet her kids and play with them.
She was smiling and laughing, and we wrapped up the conversation, and I was going back to my car, and I was putting them in their car seats. And my 12-year-old said, "Mom, do you realize that we are the exact same ages as the 3 that she lost?" I just thinking about that to that day. Like, here I am, I get to go home and make supper, and I've got all 3 of them with me, the whole gang, and she's nothing. She lost it all in just a moment. And so I think about that all the time. And for whatever reason that day, she needed to see them. I saw things that are going to haunt me, and I heard conversations that are going to stick with me, and that's okay. That's okay. And so I think revisiting and remembering, being grateful for what we have. I think everyone that you would talk to from that day says, you know, I went home and I hugged my wife, or I went home and I kissed my kids. That's so important. And as I watch my kids grow, I told Tia that I would never forget her, and I would think of her always, and I will. I'm losing an entire family on vacation. Like, you can't fix that.
That was our Frances Lynn reporting. Several other families alongside Tia Coleman have also filed lawsuits against Ripley Entertainment, including some who made it out of the duck boat alive.
That's right. For that, we want to check back in with Heather Lewis in our Color 10 studios for more details. Heather.
Yeah, Joe and Crystal, there was actually another family of 9 from New Mexico who all survived the duck boat capsizing. In fact, the same law firm that represented the Colemans helped that family also reach a settlement. We know the family of a St. Louis man, William Asher, has settled, and the family of Janice and William Bright from Higginsville were the first to settle in November of last year. However, there are still 14 cases in negotiations or plan to have mediation in the future. To add to those, there are other lawsuits against Ride the Ducks International involving products liability. Several law firms are arguing the duck boats were designed with flaws and didn't make changes recommended by the NTSB after other similar accidents. That includes the sinking of a duck boat in Hot Springs, Arkansas in 1999. That killed 13 people. However, those cases are waiting for a judge to determine whether or not Table Rock Lake is a navigable waterway. The reason for that, a section of maritime law that dates back to 1851. It determines whether or not the manufacturers of the duck boats could be liable. If so, the families could seek additional damages. Color 10 reached out to Ripley Entertainment for its response. The company didn't want to go on camera, but released this statement, which says in part, quote, "Not a day has passed that we don't think about those who lost their lives and their families. We know we can never fully understand the pain, but we've worked hard to offer help wherever we can. We are deeply committed to supporting these families. A recent court filing outlines the settlements we have reached with many of the families, and we continue to work with others." Joe and Crystal, back to you.
All right, thank you, Heather. Still to come on Taken by Storm, people on the Branson Bell from that night also don't forget what they saw.
It was the most tragic thing I ever witnessed, because you felt so helpless. You just couldn't do anything but watch.
Hear the story of this 90-year-old woman who had just sat down for dinner that night. And plus, Senator Hawley wants to make duck boats safer. All of that when we come back.